Hi, everyone. Welcome to Relationspaces Power Bursts. This is number 14. And Tara and I have a question for you today. And the question is, how can you change a relationship you're unhappy with? Right. And so Tara and I were just talking about it, and I was speaking to work that I do with young people who are unhappy either with their parents or they're unhappy with school, with their class, with their teacher. And they will say to me, I I'm really stuck. Like, I don't want to be in conversation with my parents. I don't want to go to this class and see this teacher. I feel like I'm disrespected, like I'm not heard. And as a result, I'm not doing well in class, right? And so what I will say to young people is I'll say, just work with me a little bit. I want you to pretend with me that this relationship with your parent or this relationship with your teacher is really magnificent, that they really appreciate you, that they value you, that they're so excited. Your teacher is so excited when you come to class, that you're so ready to do the learning there. You want to ask questions, you come prepared, you're really excited to be in this class, or you're really excited to be in this conversation with your parent. And I said, and I want you to just work with me. And the next time you go to class or the next time you have a conversation, um, just try this. Just try this. And so what tends to happen is 9 times out of 10, they come back to me and they say, have you spoken to my parents or have you spoken to my teacher? Because everything has changed. And so what they're essentially telling me, and of course I haven't spoken to their parents or their teachers, but just by planting that seed of intention, the fact that they're bringing themselves to the relationship differently, proactively, they're imagining it's the best it can be, because they're changing the way in which they relate with the other individual inevitably changes the way in which they relate with them. And so to me, this is an incredible message about the power of intention and how we don't, when we, so, when we have a relationship that is fraught with conflict or with other issues that may arise, um, we will have a tendency to behave in a certain way around that. And we may not be at our best because we have an expectation of that complex relationship. The other person is feeling that and they're relating back in the same way. But if we can manage to change that by informing the relationship with, in the moment, we will find that the relationship will actually change.
Yeah. Oh, that's such a wonderful example. And I just love that. The idea, the thought of young people going into conversations with their parents or going into the classroom, wherever that might be, and having that visual picture of and belief that things are better and their relationship with their teacher, with their parent is just how they would hope it to be. And I think that what really comes to mind is that saying or that statement, the future is both created and negotiable.
Right.
That, we can't change the past. And yeah, as you say, is so true. When we're still sort of present in the past, or we're kind of remembering what hasn't worked, and we're stuck in that narrative, then we carry that into the next interactions that we have, where, as you described, inviting people to imagine things being better and that relationship at its best, and believing that that person is part of that too, then that has that natural kind of change.
Yeah.
So setting that intention. And that makes me think of a sort of similar person that I was talking to, an adult who was going to be meeting with some people very important in their life that they haven't seen for a while, and things have been very, very difficult, and invited them to imagine after that. So, you know, you get in the car, you sit down and you sigh of relief, and you're just reflecting on what went well. So them kind of imagining themselves after it and really reflecting and visualizing what happened that had gone well. And that invited them to kind of really think about what they hoped, what their intentions were, what they hoped.
Yes. What they wanted,
what they
wanted in that
Yeah.
interaction.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
because there was lots of well, this might happen, that might happen, and, you know, drawing on the past and, you know, based on previous challenging meetings, but actually, you know, let's focus on what's wanted. So that real presence of what's wanted rather than the absence of what's not wanted. Yeah.
Yes, I love that idea, Tara, because sometimes if we ask people what they want out of the interaction, they may not necessarily be able to land on the nuances of what they want. But if they're asked to look at it from that standpoint, from, you know, the communication has ended. Now you're looking back, what happened that really worked for you? Then they might find it easier to reflect on what they wanted in that conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So what would our question, or what would we want to invite our listeners to take away from or think about after this our advice today, Vicky?
Well, I think it's to really reflect on a relationship that may not be going the way they want it to go, and to think about how they can bring themselves to that relationship differently, so that they can see a change, so that it can actually, so that the way that they bring themselves to the relationship could actually have a positive impact.
Wonderful. Okay, well, thank you everybody for listening.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.
Bye. Take care.
Bye.